Hey YouTube. So in June of 2018, the Eversense continuous glucose monitoring system was approved by the FDA for American patients. In October 30th, 2018, I made the switch from my Dexcom G6 and had the opportunity to have the Eversense system implanted in my arm and was educated on the uses of the system. Now, prior to this, just giving you a little history, I loved my Dexcom G6 system. The 10-day window it gives you is better than the 7 from the G5, which I was also on. And the accuracy, I felt, was very consistent and quite impressive. It picked up lows, it sent them to my phone or my watch, and allowed me to regulate. And so that system, this is not a knock video on that system at all. In fact, I'll praise it quite a bit in this video. But I received an opportunity to, almost on a trial basis, to try the Eversense continuous glucose monitoring system, which is brand new. The brand new part scared me. I didn't see a lot of patient research on it. I saw a lot of research from the company, and I saw a lot of advertisement about its capabilities. But as you know, until it's on you, you don't know how it's going to behave and you don't know how it's going to perform. Well, here I am able to tell you all the answers to some of your questions. So on Tuesday morning, October 30th, I arrived at my doctor's visit for what was billed as a standard health visit, and what happened next was surprisingly quick. In some of my research, I learned that this appointment was quote-unquote surgical, and that I'd be getting surgery to have this implanted. I was nervous about that. That language does not, it scares me. And so I was hesitant, but what happened next at the doctor's office, I received a little education on what was going to happen. I got my vitals checked to make sure that the procedure was safe for me. And really, it's just a measure of heart rate and blood pressure, things like that, just to make sure you're a standard healthy person. Everything was good to go. I discussed with my doctor what side I would be marking up, my right or left arm, where the sensor was going to be implanted. And within 4 minutes, and that's not an exaggeration, that's a literal time frame, 4 minutes, the sensor was implanted in my left arm. I walked away with steri strips, no stitches. And the actual wound itself, if you want to call it that, or the incision, has been healed and was healed, in my estimation, about 2 days after the procedure. It's 4 millimeters wide, and that's even hard to make with a finger motion. It's just that small. So very, very minor, if you want to call it, surgical procedure for the implanting of the sensor. I have searched for my sensor underneath my skin with just my hand, and you can kind of feel it. So don't let anybody tell you that it's just gone, because you can still feel it. It's still there, but you cannot see anywhere around the area where the sensor is located on your arm. Now, this probably varies depending on your body type, but let's get into it here on what you walk away with that day. So you get a box, of course, here it is, and what's inside the box will be alarmingly simple to most of you. I'm used to the Dexcom system, and I get this huge package every 3 months at my doorstep, which consists of this, times 3. So there's this little tape here from my Eversense sensor, which I'll show you in just a minute. This is what I get. I get a transmitter that I have to hook up and replace every 10 days. And then inside, I get my sensor packages. So most of you that are familiar with this system, this will be boring, but I'm going to show you anyway for sake of comparison. So inside you have this. It's the sensor kit, and that goes and it is installed wherever you want it, stomach, arm, every 10 days. So here's the thing though, if this fails, or you're swimming or you're at a beach and all of a sudden your your sensor comes out, now you've just wasted one and you're moving on to the next. So your day's supply has just gone down. Now I know Dexcom has a history of really good customer service of replacing those for you if they deem it's due to adhesion failure or something like that. But that's still up for argument. And this is essentially what you receive in the mail or from a provider every month, or in my case 3 months. So it's all this stuff times 3. Still a great system. But let's move on to what you receive with the Eversense system. What's inside the box are some materials that I'll show you just for comparison's sake. Right here kind of tells you what you're getting yourself into today, tomorrow, and beyond, and how to operate the system. I didn't have to look at this too much. I relied on the website itself, and I just relied on my own common sense for a lot of the things that I had to learn. But there are some things that you will need to know, because you will need to learn how to operate the system appropriately and efficiently. But here's what's inside the box. That's it. So this is your transmitter. Your transmitter, it's pretty sleek. It's small. You can't really see it through a shirt. You can see it if you wear a tight-fitting shirt, because let's be honest, it still is going to stick out. But I think it's a similar, I'll call it protrusion from clothing, as the Dexcom G6 system, which is also very slim. And on this transmitter, you'll see a button, and that's going to be pretty much your function of the transmitter and how to control it. I'll get into that in just a second. So this is it. You also receive a charging pod, similar to most chargers that come with cell phones, things like that you will need, because this will need to be charged every single day. And so the charge lasts about 24 hours. Some say that it can get up to 36 hours. That's for your risk. I charge mine every day. Simple. But after you get the transmitter, you'll also receive a bunch of these. And this is also what you'll use every day. These are the tape swabs or swatches that come specifically made for the Eversense system and the transmitter itself. And I'm going to show you something really cool about this tape. So the Dexcom tape, I have to apply that with some additional adhesion to make sure it sticks for the full 10 days. Because you are going to replace this tape every day, they can't give you a tape that's going to be harmful to your body, that's going to leave the little round ovals that people that use Dexcoms are probably familiar with seeing. Instead, they give you a silicone-based tape that's sticky on both sides. Your transmitter sticks to the tape on one side, and then this will stick to your arm. Now, this tape, it's hard to even show on camera. It's pretty wonderful. So the cool thing about it is, because it's silicone based, you can peel it on, stick it back, peel it off, stick it back on, and it doesn't peel hair, which is really surprising. You won't believe that until you see it. And just the tape itself has kind of a thickness to it and a tackiness to it that doesn't seem to ever really wear away. You'll get 100 pieces in that box of the tape, so you'll probably switch it out every day. But the tape itself, you could probably reuse. In fact, I have, and I've showered with it, peeled it off just as sticky, slapped it right back on. However, there's no real reason to do that, because you'll be supplied with enough tape for daily use. But emergencies happen, and you might go through more tape than you expect on certain days. If there was just something goofy that happened, or if you were sweating a lot or something like that. But I still have not found this to fail and become unsticky. So enough about boring tape. I'm going to show you, after the 24-hour warm-up period that you will learn about with the transmitter and the sensor combination that you're implanted with. The sensor needs to be in your body for 24 hours to get used to your body's system, and to essentially warm up before we can start getting blood sugar readings. So during that process, your job is simply just to heal and take care of the incision site, which is very minimal maintenance to zero maintenance. And after that 24-hour window, then you start your calibration processes, which will be outlined for you in the manual and the use, and you'll probably get information on that after your appointment. So after the 24-hour window, I'm going to show you a video of me setting up my transmitter for the very first time and finding the location spot of the sensor on my arm for the very first time. And you'll see how actually surprised I am at how simple the process was.
Put that on there, good.
Okay, we're videoing. What are you experiencing right now?
Confusion.
Confusion, excitement,
Some excitement. I hope it works.
some nervous.
Oh, it's beeping. I said to hold it like this. Oh, still beeping.
Do you need a little sort of help?
I don't think so. Come on. Can I zoom in there? Oh, I have signal strength of excellent.
That's wonderful.
I will apply.
Locked and loaded.
Excellent.
Oh, nice. Thumbs up.
Okay.
So now that you've seen me execute my first placement of the transmitter on my arm, and I was quite surprised actually at how simple that was, and you can see that live from the video, and you can probably also see the surprised look on my face. So believe it or not, you guys, I was skeptical about that process for that full 24-hour period. How easy would it be for that to find the sensor buried in my arm underneath my skin? And as you can see, it was very easy. So one little hiccup that you will have if you get the system implanted that I had, and I want to tell you it's normal, and I want to also tell you how you can troubleshoot your way through it, is that gauze patch on the tegaderm, which is basically used just to make sure that you don't have any droplets of blood from that incision. And again, it's about the size of like a shaving nick on your skin from shaving. Will interfere with the sensor transmitter connection. Here's why. This sensor was made to go right over your skin, with the only thing obstructing it is the adhesive tape. That's it. It was not made to go through a gauze pad, dried blood, steri strips, etc. So it's only reasonable that it would have hiccups from time to time during that couple of day window that you will have to heal. What I would recommend doing, and what I did to find my results significantly improve, was get a different tegaderms patch that is clear, that doesn't have the gauze, because your bleeding will stop for a normal healthy person within the first 18 to 24 hours. And that way you don't have that thick layer of gauze and dried blood that the transmitter is trying to get through to read the sensor. And after I did that, I put on the clear tegaderm for the remaining 7 days before I took everything off. My readings were great. So let's talk about readings. So here's my iPhone app. Right here, the Eversense. I'll open it. Right now it's pulling my blood sugars every 5 minutes to the app. And as you'll notice, all of the green that you see means that I'm within my target range. Those target ranges can be editable by you. You get to control them. I'll show you where those are located. You go over to your menu panel. You go down to settings, and then you go to glucose. So now you get to see how you want to be alerted and how you want to record your data and keep track of your sugars. I don't want to be alerted right away because I don't know how sensitive the system will be, so I made the range pretty wide. My target range, as you'll see right here, is 190 to 80. And so as long as my blood sugar stays within that range, it'll read as green, and green means good. If it drops below those ranges, I'll get a little buzz on my arm or my phone, and it will tell me to correct and go back into the target range. Now the high and low alerts, I would suggest what I have set, but follow your doctor's orders on that. My low alert below 70 is when I want to be when I want to be alerted to get sugar into my body. My high alerts, I want to be alerted when to take insulin. Very simple stuff for type 1 diabetics. Predictive alerts I had to turn on my system, and I recommend you do the same, but again, do as you like. Predictive alerts, it'll tell you when your blood sugar is about to be low, and it'll give you a time frame, and you can vary that time frame 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, your choice. I prefer 10 because that gives me a chance to get something to eat if I know the sensor's telling me I'm going to be low. And then there's other really cool options that I won't even get into, but you'll learn about once you get the system implanted into your body. You'll get educated on those. So back to some of the more cool things. You get a placement guide. And so the placement guide, which you'll see mine is implanted as of right now, is it's essentially like a signal reading, and you'll get a signal strength, and you want it to be good or excellent. That means the transmitter is right over the sensor. This is crucial because you can't see the sensor, it's in your body. And so as you're kind of hovering the transmitter over the sensor, this will tell you if you have a strong reading or a weak reading. Obviously, you want as strong as possible. It is not difficult to get this excellent reading, as this kind of guides you through almost like a metal detector, sort of. You know, the signal will change and get increase once you're right over where you need to be when you're installing the transmitter daily. And I will tell you, you will likely have to install the transmitter over the sensor with the adhesive, with the silicone adhesive, daily, because the charge of the transmitter lasts about 24 hours. Now, there's rumors out there that it can get you up to 2, maybe 3 days if your blood sugars are good and it doesn't have to do a lot of work with vibrates and whatnot. But I would recommend charging daily just to give yourself any type of a buffer if things go awry. So back to my glucose. Right now, I'm at a steady 105. You'll see prior around 1 o'clock, I had a low, and I felt that low. This read it accurately, and the system performed. Now, if we go back in time, which this is really cool, you can go back up to 24 hours in my case, but you can adjust that in your settings. You'll notice that there's a gap there. Well, at about 10:30 to 11:45, I took my sensor off. I just felt I was showering. I didn't need to wear it, and that allowed me some charge time. And you'll get a full charge if you have your batteries drained. You'll get a full charge within 15 minutes, which is pretty impressive. In fact, I'm noticing more. I get a full charge at about 5 to 10 minutes. The charging station comes with the your packaging, and so that's why you have that gap there. So when you take it off, it stops reading sugars, which makes sense. When you put it back on, it picks right back up reading sugars again without the need to recalibrate, and it'll download what the sensor was reading while the transmitter was not hooked up to it. Really cool stuff. So we can go back as far as 24 hours gets us, but I won't bore you with my blood sugar readings. I'll show you some more cool stuff. So you can share your data right here with your circle of people. I share mine with my wife so that she knows in a case of an emergency what my sugars are, and it alerts me or alerts people that I'm with if I don't have my phone with me. Now, you can add, I believe, up to 5 people and add them to your circle to share your sugars. You could also send your data out to your doctor before your visits if you choose to do so. It's pretty intense, the types of data that you can pull from this and share with other people. You can adjust alerts on here. You can adjust the sounds. You can adjust vibrates. There's lots of things you can adjust, but mostly you'll be looking at this screen when the app is open. You'll notice up at the top upper right-hand corner, there is a battery symbol, and that is the battery level of your transmitter. And also you'll see a signal strength there. In the first day, because of the gauze patch of my tegaderm, I had a little bit of difficulty finding a strong signal. Now you have to understand, the transmitter is trying to sense your sensor not only underneath your skin, but if there is a gauze patch in between with maybe a little dry blood on it, that is going to cause it to have to work extra hard to find that sensor's readings. And obviously the signal strength won't be as good. My signal strength, as you can see, is excellent because my body is healed from the procedure and it's only been 5 days. They say max heal time is around 10 days. The average person usually heals within 5 to 7. So, and when we're talking about healing, we're talking about a 4 millimeter incision that for most people closes up pretty quickly. That's a pretty small nick in the grand scheme of incisions. So that's the app that you'll have once you get the transmitter installed and synced to your phone, which is very simple, just like a Bluetooth device. It comes with directions, and I promise you guys will have a pretty easy time with it, as I did. So when the app sends you a signal, it'll send it right to your transmitter. Here's what I mean by that. Obviously, the transmitter will be reporting blood sugars, but the transmitter also is an alert device in itself. The transmitter will vibrate 3 long vibrates that you simply can't ignore when you are low. And this has been the first system that has successfully woken me up in the middle of the night to correct a blood sugar, and that has happened twice. And it woke me up because my arm shook. And so at first, that will take some getting used to, but to be honest, you should not get used to that feeling because it is an alert that you need to act, that you need to do something to get your body and your system back into the target blood range area, the target blood range zone. So this system works very well for that. I would even put this system in the category of a safety device for somebody who was concerned about overnight lows. It hasn't been approved yet for adolescents and kids, but they're getting close. That for a parent to have this system on your child, you would know that this will alert them very effectively, and you'll be at peace of mind as well. I know that I am, and I know my wife is, that I will be alerted and do something to correct my sugars. More importantly, for low blood sugars than for high, because low is obviously more dangerous. You can take it off whenever you want. If you're a female or a male and you're in some sort of fit clothing, or you're at the beach, you don't want to get a suntan line or something like that, take it off. You can take it off, and then right when you slap back on, you're going to get readings almost instantaneously. And your phone will guide you through that process and help you along the way. So that's what the system's for. Any questions, concerns? If people are on the system and have had different issues, I'd like to hear about them because I kind of want to know what I have in store ahead of me. As of right now, I've had to contact the Eversense tech support team for an issue with my transmitter that was quote unquote normal. And they were great. 24-hour service. I did not wait on a hold line. And so that's, +1 in their department. Again, the Dexcom system is also great. This system for me was breakthrough cutting edge technology that I wanted to try out and see how it interacted with my type 1 diabetes. And I'm finding it very impressive, very simple, and the long-term answer for accurate blood glucose monitoring. So I look forward to changes from Eversense. I know that there's a lot of technology coming our way from them. I won't get into that in this video. And good luck if this is the road you're on. And I hope I was of some help to you.